So this is a new series that we are just starting. See, Brian Tracy is not coming from a network marketing background, though he has occasionally spoken about network marketing. He is a very typical regular salesperson. That means the regular kind of products, the regular kind of sales. And I was very surprised to note that the processes that are there in regular sales, there is a lot of similarity with what we are doing in our network marketing related sales also. So in that sense, I'm just feeling that there is not much of a difference. It's a sales process with some variations. So this is a series related to psychology, and this is a very introductory session. The next ones are more involved. So this may look very generic. It may look like slightly philosophical also, but just bear with me. He talks of something called a success instinct. What he says is that everybody has got this instinct to succeed. Everybody wants to do well. Everybody wants to drive themselves to fructify their own potential. Whatever inbuilt potential is there, they are trying to reach out to the maximum. Everybody is in that state. For example, if we see children, children are of course completely there. They are ever curious. They just want to find out this. They want to discover that. They will go here, there. For us, some of the things may seem even risky, but children tend to do that. And even as adults, you will notice that all of us at different levels or at different scales, we are always trying to improve ourselves. Okay. So there is an effort, an inbuilt tendency or an inbuilt nature in us which wants to grow. Sadhguru keeps talking about this. He says that, we want, all of us are just trying to become infinite. That process is there inside of us that we want to grow. So the related point is that everybody is ambitious. There is, different scales are there. There may be different flavors of it. There may be different things that people vie for, but everybody has their range of ambitions. And this is an interesting statement he makes that all negative emotions come from frustrated potential, that they feel that there is a potential, and that potential they're not able to fructify. There is a frustration and negative emotion comes out of that. Ernest Holmes is Brian Tracy's guru. So this is a statement made by Ernest Holmes, that all negative emotions come from frustrated potential. So this frustrated potential, if we just look at it, we feel that we can do or we can be at a position far more than where we are. This is the thing that most of us keep going through. And there is something that is holding us back. So this is that frustrated potential that we keep experiencing. Now, the point is, what do people do when they experience this? So, as with so many other things in life, the 80-20 rule applies. So, we will look at the 80-20 rule separately, but this 80-20 rule applies here also. For example, uh, to only 20% of the people, see, everybody is experiencing this frustrated potential. They feel that there is something more that they can do. But only 20% of the people are proactive. Okay, they try to figure out, what do I do about this? They try to figure out, why is this happening? They try to figure out, what can I do about it? They focus on self development. They keep learning. Okay, that's only 20% of the people. What do 80% of the people do? 80% of the people have just given up. Okay, they are just hoping that somehow something good will just come their way, which is why so many people keep investing in lottery tickets. They're just hoping that they'll just get lucky and it will happen, which is not how it works. Unless we are willing to do what it takes, unless we are willing to put in the necessary effort, and unless we are willing to even the focusing on our own development and keeping on learning and doing the necessary work, results will not come. So that is why it works only for 20% of the people who are proactive. Okay, so now having seen this much, let us look at what, according to Brian Tracy, are the 7 ingredients for success. So the first thing he talks about the first thing he says is peace of mind. So this is very interesting. Like, see, so many places, we hear of like peace of mind as if it's an ultimate goal. Okay, but I've heard Sadhguru talk about it. Here, I have heard Brian Tracy also say that it's not the ultimate thing; it's the first thing that you need to have. Okay, and he says that peace of mind naturally occurs when there is no fear and when there are no negative emotions. So when this fear and negative emotions are removed, there is automatically the natural state that is left behind is a peace of mind. Now, interestingly, all religions are facilitating a thinking towards this particular goal. All religions, all spiritual efforts, they are this peace of mind is something that they keep talking about. They keep trying to orient people towards this, and this is a most fundamental requirement. Okay, whatever else we build is built on this. Now, there's interesting correlations. As I go through the slides, you will see some interesting correlations. Um, So, as we are saying that this is not an ultimate goal, this is like the first step. Okay, there is no point. Like, you take the cases of people who have all the money in the world or all the luxuries and everything, but when they don't have peace and happiness, it's like as if there is no use of having anything. Okay, and that is also the reason why there is so much of this alcoholism, drug abuse, and suicides. Now, I mean, very pointed cases are, look at all our there's some of these celebrities. We've had recent cases of Sushant Singh Rajput committing suicide and things like that. We would think from our position, we would think that what is it that they don't have? They have seen success, they have been there, they have everything they need, but there is something that is missing. So that peace of mind is something much more fundamental. Okay, so that's the first one. Second is he talks of health and energy. Now, fantastic health and boundless energy is again a very, very basic need. Anything else that you want to build, this is basic. This is really required. So, according to Brian Tracy, the true measure of health is how much of energy you have, how much energetic, how much vibrant, how intense you are, is actually a measure of how healthy you are. Okay, and we have of course experienced that whenever the moment there is ill health, the moment there is a fever, automatically our energy levels just dip. Okay, and the moment things start settling down, energy suddenly it bounces back. So if we can focus on how to build up our energy levels, that is one of the ways to get our health back. So, basic question: when we wake up in the morning, are we excited about the day ahead? Is that how we are? Or are we just thinking, we're just lazing around in bed and we are, thinking of sleeping because there is nothing better that we have to do for ourselves? So, how do you feel? That is what we are calling as being energetic. So, for reaching this state of health and energy, there are certain support systems that we can utilize. For example, modern medicine in many ways has addressed so many of the health problems that otherwise so many of so many people were not having, access to, or they died out of it, or so many things. Today, modern medicine allows it. It is allowing for a much, much longer lifespan. Of course, our interfever formulations are a very powerful support. I know of, I don't know, so many senior citizens that I know of, whom I know of, meaning like some of our distributors have given it to them. Having used the formulation, most of the senior citizens report a feeling of much higher energy levels. Okay, so it's not just about energy, it is about, whether it is diabetes or whether any of these areas, we are having a very powerful set of support. And of course, if we can bring in yoga and certain spiritual practices, if we can bring in exercise, we can bring this in our health. These are all tools that we have to build our health and energy. And these are things, in my opinion, these are very, very fundamental. And we have to introduce these in our life and utilize them. Okay. Now, the next is loving relationships. So, you see, there is this statistic, I don't know what it's based on, Brian Tracy's number. 85% of your success that you enjoy depends on how well you get along with others. So it's very, very basic for us to just get along, be able to get along well with as many people as possible. In fact, if you take anybody who is really successful, you will find that they have extensive networks. They are very, very extensively networked. Anybody who's successful is like this. And we also know that most illnesses today are actually psychosomatic. That means it is a mental disturbance. Okay, whatever issues are there on the head is showing up on the body, right? So negative emotions can impact our physical health. This is something that we know clearly, and therefore it's all the more reason that we need to address how to go beyond these negative emotions and have something positive in our life. There is a lot of those things we will look at in course of time, but this is just we are scratching the surface. so uh, so now look at the correlation. If you have problems with others, okay, the first step is your health gets impacted. The moment your health gets impacted, your peace of mind gets impacted. So you see, we started from peace of mind, then we went to health, now loving relationships. The point is that how the strength of your relationships also works backwards. It will affect your health and then your peace of mind. Okay, so uh, Brian Tracy's good measure of a relationship is how much we are able to laugh with other people. Just today, Sujata and I, we were having a discussion on this. Sujata was telling me, like, what a dry this thing. She was watching one of those Amazon, I think, some serial. She was having a hearty laugh, and then I was busy with something. So she was making a point. So uh, it kept coming to my mind that, the point that she's making, that how important it is that we have to have this whole thing about so much of laughter, having it in our life. All of you must have heard of laughter therapy and all that. Very interesting thing is that very few creatures on this planet are actually capable of laughter. Uh, Brian Tracy says that only humans are capable, but I just checked up on the net. I found that there are some three or four, not many, very few creatures are capable of laughter. So it is a very unique feature that we have as a part of our evolution. Humans are one of those very few. So obviously, lot of laughter can lead to good health. So look at how to bring in lot of laughter and look at how to build fantastic relationships. Right. Next is financial freedom. Uh, so one measure of financial freedom. This is not what Brian Tracy said. I came across this in some other somebody else's video. Is that how many months can you live a life that is completely uncompromised without having to work? That is a measure of how many months of financial freedom you have in your hand. Okay, so what we are trying to work towards is to reach a situation that is through our industry of possibility. We are trying to reach a situation where we can have an unlimited financial freedom. So financial freedom, money is one of the measures, but it is not all. Financial freedom also means time freedom. Okay. Financial freedom also means that you should be able to decide how you utilize your time. In fact, time is far, far more valuable than money. Okay. And if you don't have the freedom to, use the time the way you want, then there is no point in having all the money in the world. Okay. So again, whatever we are trying to do in our own whole process of, a certain years, 3 4 years of committed work that we're trying to do, is to reach this state where we have the necessary time freedom and the financial freedom. So money problems in general, money problems, so many people's lives and so many problems they are facing in their life is related to money. Now look at the relationship. Look at the way it works. The moment you have money problem, it starts affecting relationships. The moment relationships get affected, affects your health. Moment health gets affected, affects peace of mind. So it's all like, the whole thing is connected. And therefore, it is important that we solve the money problem for ourselves and for others around us. So now to be financially free today, as of today, for us to reach that financial freedom, we need to work very hard. See, many people think that, oh, it's, somebody who's really successful, oh, he was just lucky. No person, or I would say most people who are really successful have really sweated, really sweated, their butt to reach the point where they have reached. Okay, so there are no free lunches. Okay, it is not that you buy a lottery ticket and you will win your way to financial freedom. It won't work. Let us be ready to commit ourselves to really hard work. So successful people, the beauty of it is, see, they don't look at how many hours, oh, I have so many hours, oh, weekends I'm not going to work, nothing. Successful people don't look at how many hours they work. They work long hours, well beyond the normal 9 to 5. They work into weekends. Okay, they don't look at all this. And the beauty is that for the successful people, whatever they are doing, they love what they're doing. So they thoroughly enjoy it. So anyway, it's not like they're working. It's just one long holiday they're having. Okay, next level, having worthy goals and ideals. It's like, all the things that we're building on is one over and above the other. This set of this and the next couple of things that we'll talk about are typically generally referred in the spiritual sense. In the spiritual discussions, these come up, but these are things, in a very mundane point of view also. And if we have worthy goals and ideals, it gives a lot of meaning and purpose to our life. Okay, like I keep feeling that now, like Sujata's this Munch and Mull channel, the video channel that Sujata is doing, it is actually touching lives of completely unknown people at unknown places. Okay, we have no. It's so surprising when we get to hear of people say that this has happened with us, or this change has happened. Similar thing we have experienced with Indus Viva, that we have been able to give this to people whom many of people whom we didn't even know, and for them life has changed. Okay, so having something like this, having something that is much bigger than us, or some lofty ideal, something that gives meaning and purpose to our life. Okay, so for such people who are having this kind of thing and they're working towards something much more bigger, sleep is something that, oh yeah, what's the choice? I just have to sleep because I have to take some rest. Otherwise, they are willing, if they didn't have to sleep, they would work 24 hours a day, they would work. So that bare minimum they will sleep. But you look at the other people who don't have these kind of ideal, something that they are working towards, something much bigger. They don't know what to do with their life, so sleeping is what they will keep doing. Here and there they will sleep, they will while their time away, there's no purpose, there's no direction. Okay, the next level is self knowledge and self understanding. Again, this comes is really touching a spiritual realm, but in a more practical day to day level also. This involves understanding ourselves. So there is some Harvard study which says that this understanding of ourselves, that means just being you know being able to see yourself as you are, and being able to maybe even accept yourself as you are. Okay, is they are saying a foundational intelligence. It's a very very basic intelligence, and this can lead to great success in life. Okay, so in effect what it means is, and you are willing to admit your weakness, one, and your strength and you are proud of that. So you know what are your strengths and you know what are your weaknesses, and you're willing to acknowledge it. And the ultimate personal fulfillment and self actualization. At a spiritual realm, we talk about this in terms of um, they talk of samadhi, they talk of mukti, they talk of these kind of things. Maslow spoke about self actualization. Those of some of you who may be students of economics would have definitely come across Maslow. So he calls this the ultimate aim of life. That all of us actually we are working towards reaching this thing of self-actualization and a feeling of personal fulfillment. The sad fact is that very very small percentage of people actually get to it in even the physical realm. Okay, so basically it is an experience of unlimited inner growth and happiness. So uh, this, of course, beyond a point, we cannot separate this from a spiritual quest. We cannot really separate it, in my opinion. So these were the 4 steps. So there is an interesting formula here. Okay, based on whatever we have seen. So results. Okay, or the key to success. At the end of the day, when we are looking for results, it is a product of U and E. What is U and E? U is understanding of yourself and understanding of the world also. You need to understand yourself, your strengths, your capabilities, and you need to understand how the world works, what works in the world, right? And this will take some time and it takes some learning. So that is why all this, so much of the learning process, for example, now this kind of conversations that we are having, this process that we are having, is all a part of this agenda of trying to understand ourselves and trying to understand the world better. This is one part of it, the understanding part. The second part is effort. You cannot escape taking effort. You need to put in that hard work. See, whether you take anything in life, anything, even for that matter, I was reminded when I was listening to this, I was reminded of Sadhguru talking about even on the spiritual realm. If you want to get anywhere, they talk of sadhana, that you have to put in that intense sadhana. You can't escape it, right? So whether it is in the physical world or whether it is in the spiritual realm, that necessary work or that necessary commitment and effort has to be put in. There is no escaping it. So the multiplication of this understanding and the effort together will give results. That is the key to our success. So now, what is the most important part in all this? Now, so many weeks we've been talking about it. It is taking action. See, so much we keep hearing about. We will learn, we'll understand, we'll get inspired, and all that. But unless you take action, there is no going to be nothing that will happen. So I want to sincerely invite all of you to take action. All successful people are action oriented. Remember this. So please see whether you're taking actions. You came across something, whether this kind of training or anything else that you come across that inspired you. Are we implementing these things in our life? That is the basic question. Here is a nice quote. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can also achieve. Okay. This statement has been made by an author. His name is Napoleon Hill. He's written a book called Think and Grow Rich. I have not read it, but I've heard a lot about this book, Think and Grow Rich. So this is what he had to say. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can also achieve.